Welcome to another episode of the Ginger Romance. Here, you'll hear anonymous stories from travellers all over the world. Real submissions from real people. Tales of connection, romance, passion, heartbreak, friendship, and love in all its forms. Because every kind of love deserves to be told. This week on the Ginger Romance, we share a love story set in Langkawi, Malaysia. This story is an example of how the best love stories aren't always found through perfect timing or perfect first impressions. They can begin with a bit of chaos, a few cheeky kisses, and a plane ticket you never expected to book. Let's get into it. In July 2024, I sold my house and decided to go travelling around Asia with my best friend. Because what else is one to do when they're bored rigid with life in the UK? I enjoyed every minute of it. By October, we'd landed in Langkawi just in time for my 29th birthday. Naturally, we celebrated properly by getting appropriately drunk before heading out to a few of the local bars. I'm high on life, drinks are flowing, the music's loud, and I spent most of the night bouncing around the dance floor like someone who'd completely forgotten what responsibilities even were. Meanwhile, my best friend had appointed herself my unofficial wingwoman. A group of men wandered into the bar and she immediately started making conversation, convinced I'd eventually appreciate a bit of male attention once I'd tired myself out dancing. Eventually, we all moved on to another bar together. Among the group was one particular man. Quiet, slightly grumpy looking, wearing a hat. Now, for reasons I still can't explain, I decided the best possible way to introduce myself was to make the hat the centre of the conversation. I attempted hat-related banter. I may have also attempted to wear the hat. And for anyone wondering, men who are very attached to their hats generally do not enjoy strangers trying to put them on. Not exactly the charming first impression that I'd been aiming for. The night rolled on, and somehow everyone ended up at a 4 a.m. barbecue after party. Absolutely brilliant. And strangely enough, Grumpy Hat Man looked considerably less grumpy standing behind a barbecue. In fact, he looked quite attractive. Very attractive. Before long, I was deploying barbecue-related chat-up lines with all the confidence that only birthday drinks can provide. Apparently, while I was busy chatting away, Grumpy Hat Man had started asking the other blokes if anyone was actually with me. Thankfully, the answers were no. A few cheeky snogs later, and that was that. Or so I thought. Fast forward 2 years, and I'm still flying back to Langkawi 4 times a year. Turns out, the chicken wings really were that good. Although for the record, I'm still not allowed to touch his hat. That's where the story ends, but not where my thoughts do. I really like how this story breaks the rules people create around finding love. We spend so much time trying to be attractive or polished and witty, and to make a good first impression. Yet here we have a woman irritating a stranger by trying to steal his hat, and somehow building a relationship that lasts years. Maybe chemistry isn't about saying the right thing. Maybe it's about finding someone who enjoys your chaos enough to stick around after you've said the wrong thing. So here's a question for you. Have you ever had a terrible first impression of someone who later became important in your life? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you in next week's episode. Thanks for listening. Make sure you're following along to keep up to date with weekly stories that will inspire, entertain, and maybe even make you fall in love with the idea of love itself. Got your own romance story and want to be a part of the Ginger Romance community? Check the notes for details on how to submit your own.